This is Mary Kelly with Top Secret Leadership. In this episode, we talk about conflict resolution and how necessary it is for every single person on the team to realize that while they may be part of the solution, they may also be part of the problem. There's probably somebody at work you don't love. There's probably somebody at work that, I know, surprise, maybe doesn't love you so much either. So how do we work together as team members even when we frankly don't like that other person? Now, most people experience some kind of conflict when they're working with other people. This is normal and it's natural. Mature workers find ways to take the energy and the passion that surrounds them and turn it into a positive outcome. You may not like that other person, but they've still shown up to your workplace and they are focused in the same way you are in order to move forward. So how do you help yourself and other people get along? How do you work toward common goals? Imagine you're on one of those teams and there's another team member you just don't get along with. Sometimes that gets out of control. I've seen teams where people not only don't support each other's decisions, they deliberately don't inform each other about information that they really need to be sharing. And they somehow think this is okay simply because they don't like that other person. We all have to set expectations about how we manage conflict. We know that great teams mean we've got to work better together and figure out a way where we can get along with each other. You don't have to love everybody, but you do have to be professional and we all have to work together. Now, sometimes this is frustrating, and sometimes leaders get frustrated when they have to get involved. Sometimes leaders they'll get frustrated and say things like, these are mature people. They're paid to be professional. Why can't they just do their job? Other folks sometimes get involved and they dismiss it. They say, you know what, they're just going to figure it out on their own. Or maybe it will just get better magically by themselves, hoping that the professionalism on the team will somehow transcend this conflict. For most of us, if the conflict is left to fester, if it is not addressed, it tends to get worse. Then rumor and innuendo and blame start to increase. Many people will sometimes just avoid the other person and not ever talk about the issue. This is like a blister that just keeps getting worse. And we know that not everybody needs to like each other, but we do have to have enough respect for the organization to agree to move forward together. Now, this becomes a leadership issue when team members simply can't get along so much that it creates silos and it spreads throughout the rest of the team. That's when leaders need to get involved and the conflict needs to be addressed. One technique that works, and if you are one of those people in a conflict situation, this might work for you too. Get the other person into a room for a private conversation and say something nice about them. And I know that sounds contrary to what we're trying to do, but if you say, I really think you've got this great ability, or I liked how you handled this situation, and then ask them for something nice about you. Now that sounds like it's self-aggrandizing, but what it does is it forces people to think about the good aspects of the other person, because for maybe a while, all they've seen is everything wrong. Now, if you're the leader, you can get two people in a room and ask them to do the same thing. The exercise works that way too. Then ask if they are willing to work forward together on a professional level. And you may say something like, look, I know we've had differences in the past, but I'd like us to move forward in a very professional way. And how would I need to adjust what I do so that you can see things from my perspective? And what am I missing about your perspective? Because sometimes you may not like that other person, but if they were suddenly gone, if the situation escalated and that person had to be reassigned to another job, or if they quit, all of a sudden you might realize a big part of your job depends on that other person being productive. And that means putting your personal likes and dislikes aside for the good of the organization, but also so that you've got a better working relationship at work. Great leaders and great team members know that they cannot allow individual pettiness and conflict to get out of control and poison the rest of the group. This is Mary Kelly. See you next time.